The law of the jungle is kill or be killed. Most of the time, it's survival of the fittest. If you can't hold your ground, you will not make it. All sorts of animals meet in the bush, and conflicts is inevitable. Some battles are quicker than others. What do you think happens when a praying mantis meets a hornet? What creature wins between a hammerhead shark and a stingray? Stick around and you'll see much more as we count down 15 wild animals hunting mercilessly. Number 15. Bear hunting elk. Elks are typically larger than deer, so a bear must invest more energy pursuing them. However, when the elk is young, as in this video, striking and carrying its victim to a safer location to consume it is child's play. This bear doesn't appear to be bothered by the water when it attacks a giant elk in a river in this video. Being in the water not only makes it more difficult for the powerful predator, but it also makes it more difficult for the elk to flee. The bear appears to be in perfect command of the situation and completes the kill in a matter of minutes. The difficult thing now is figuring out how to pull this large prey out of the water so the bear can enjoy its meal. The grizzly bear was rummaging through a tangle of shrubs. There was a high-pitched screech as the bear dipped in and emerged on the other side with the elk in its mouth. In our next video, what appears to be a sure kill for this grizzly bear when it sees an injured elk barely able to walk turns into a botched hunt when the elk manages to avoid being grabbed by the bear and jumps into the water where the river's current carries it away from the bear, prompting the bear to abandon the chase. Finally, given that its victim is still chanting the Hail Mary, this bear begins to enjoy its meal a little too early. I guess some animals can't wait to eat when it's time. Number 14. Wild dog versus warthog. Even though warthogs are formidable animals with razor-sharp tusks, one warthog against a pack of wild dogs isn't going to cut it. A pack of wild dogs is chasing a warthog. The warthog quickly realizes this and decides not to stick around, so it flees, but the dogs pursue it fiercely. The warthog digs a trench and enters the defense mode as a last resort, but even that may not be enough to ward off the attack of the crazy dogs. Wild dogs are reputed to be some of Africa's best hunters, but they don't seem to mind if their prey is still alive when they devour it. In this video, you can see them eating a warthog alive. Uninvited, these wild dogs barge into a warthog's den and snap at the warthog from all angles. The warthog hasn't even had a chance to blink before it's being prepared for dinner. As they devour the warthog, the dogs show no mercy. The next video is not for the faint of heart. A young warthog is ripped apart by these wild dogs. The ferocity with which wild dogs engage in a hunt is difficult to witness. The dogs never stop and eat as they go, so whether the prey is alive or dead is irrelevant to them. Finally, this warthog is being attacked from all sides by a large pack of dogs. It's unfortunate that the warthogs usually face such situations all by themselves. It would be interesting to see what would happen if there were as many warthogs as the wild dogs involved in a fight, because there always seems to be a numerical disparity whenever they meet. This warthog will perish. I don't think wild dogs and warthogs will ever be pals. Number 13. Lion versus donkey. I've never heard of lions hunting donkeys before, but I guess it does happen, because this video proves it. These two young lions put themselves in danger when they decide to brutally kill several donkeys from a local village herd. The farmers that own these donkeys could very well be on the lookout for the lions and return the favor. This will be a task for the local ranger to manage and try to keep the peace between the felines and the inhabitants. In this video, which takes place at the Baghdad Zoo, these lions were released into a donkey enclosure apparently because of lack of food. I hope the information I have is wrong, but I've never seen or heard predators such as lions being released into another animal's enclosure so they could eat them. Next, these two lions walked into a village late at night and captured a donkey. They were hungry and it was dinner time, so what else could they do? Number 12. Tiger versus bear. Deer, moose, wild boars, and yes, bears are all prey for tigers. Although Himalayan bears are most of the tiger's prey, they account for 5% of all large meals. The Siberian tiger turned to the brown bear for food when natural prey became rare in Russia. Siberian tigers and grizzly bears in North America are solitary hunters. Except when a mother sloth bear is guarding her young, tigers have an easier time with sloth bears. Watch as this mother fights this tiger as if it were the final day of her life, and this isn't a small struggle. The bear tries so hard to bring it to the tiger that the large feline eventually stops and thinks to himself, "This is way too much of a bother." After the triumph, the baby sloth congratulates his mother. In this next video, These two tigers approach this Asiatic bear, but the bear rises and confronts the tigers. The tigers keep walking towards the bear as though on a mission, but neither of them manages to leapfrog the bear. I'm guessing it's not as simple as it appears. Number 11. Lion versus Warthog. Warthogs are fearless and dangerous creatures capable of causing significant harm. However, how do they fare against the king of the jungle? Do they stand a chance against a lion? Of course, the warthog isn't a moron and won't approach a lion to taunt it purposefully. The warthog will simply defend itself should the lion decide to attack. The lion will pursue the warthog until it is forced to battle the lion. If the warthog intends to survive such a battle, he'll need to have a few prayers handy and the latest version of the King James Bible. In this video, a lion pursues a small warthog. Given the size of the prey, I'm not sure why the lion puts any energy and effort in this hunt. That little piglet isn't going to fill the large cat's stomach, but I guess big cats enjoy appetizers once in a while. A group of people saw a pride of hungry lions and decided to camp out with them for several hours in the hopes of seeing a kill. All day, a female lion hid under a tree, creeping an eye out for a nearby waterhole. A male warthog decided to take a dip into the waterhole that the female lion was staking out. The lioness walked around the bushes to their left and started approaching the warthog while they were recording this. The lioness gave it her all, but wasn't fast enough, and the warthog escaped to live another day. She didn't try to catch up with the warthog. Next, this male lion visits this warthog's den. No, he's not selling Bibles. He actually wants to show the warthog where heaven is, and that's exactly what he does, before a pack of wild dogs. Finally, these two lionesses chase this warthog and complete a successful hunt. In an open field like that, it's not easy for an animal to escape the grasp of two formidable hunters working in unison towards the same goal. Number 10. Wild dogs versus Impala. Many African predators enjoy eating the impala as a food source. It's incredibly swift and difficult to catch, but once a predator gets its claws on an impala, it's almost a sure thing. Getting to it is the difficult part. Two wild dogs chase a huge impala through the lake in this video. The other members of the pack wait anxiously while these two do most of the work to drag the impala back to the shore against its will. Once the animal is out of the water, the rest of the pack joins in on the feast and the impala can kiss the rest of its life goodbye. On the side of the road, these wild dogs finish off an impala. When it comes to food, wild dogs aren't fussy. It's fine for them to enjoy a picnic, even if it's on the side of the road. In this video, these three wild dogs kill an impala in a matter of seconds. The rate at which they work is incredible. They don't waste any time at all. This pack of wild dogs has cornered an impala and is chasing it across a shallow body of water. Slowly but steadily, one of the dogs closes in on the impala, and despite the video's brevity, it's clear that the hunt's outcome will be. Finally, these wild dogs capture and consume this young impala, and the whole thing is over in a matter of seconds. When wild dogs get their hands on an impala, they rip it apart in seconds. The impala has no chance of surviving. Number 9. Leopard Fights. Leopards are solitary animals, thus it's understandable if they have a disagreement when they meet another leopard. This is confirmed by seeing these two leopards battle it out. The bite marks on one of the leopards can be seen, and the fight is far from over. They exchange stares and stroll away, as if they were domestic cats. I suppose they didn't want to get into any more problems. The leopards in this tree are throwing everything they've got at each other. They're either fighting over which branch is theirs, or one of the two leopards is claiming ownership of the entire tree. Leopards battling one another are usually even matched, hence, one leopard rarely dies at the paws of another. They simply harm each other and then walk away when they've had enough. Two leopards slap each other in the face during this next clip, but they have no idea that a pride of lions is roaming on the ground close to them. When one of the leopards leaps from the tree, he must flee quickly before the lions strike him. A leopard guards his kill from another leopard on this tree in this video. For a few seconds they fight, but the leopard holding the kill makes sure the other leopard doesn't get too close to his meal. Finally, following an incident with another leopard, a leopard takes a terrible fall from a tree. I hope the leopard is not injured because it could mean a slow death in the bush if that's the case. Number 8. Wild dogs versus common Sesame. The common Sesame, sometimes known as the Sassaby, is a near relative of the Bontebok. With high sloped shoulders that drop to a little rump that does not appear very robust, it has a humorous appearance. And guess what? Wild dogs enjoy comedy shows, so they check out the common Sesame whenever they can. In this video, the show didn't last very long, and the dogs are pulled in their own direction, gulping every piece of meat they could find. The suffering of the animal must be intolerable, but I guess the dogs don't really care. Finally, another Sesame is brought down rather quickly and finds out what wild dogs are all about. No matter how much it resisted, there was nothing it could do. Number 7. Praying Mantis versus Hornets. Thanks to queens that can grow to be 2 inches long and mandibles shaped like spiked shark fins, Asian gigantic hornets, commonly known as murder hornets, can wipe out a honeybee colony in a matter of hours, decapitating the bees and flying away with the thoraxes to feed their offspring. For larger prey, the hornet's strong venom and stinger, long enough to puncture a beekeeper suit, combine to create an agonizing mix, with humans describing it as hot metal hammering into their flesh. This is all fine and dandy, but when it comes face to face with the praying mantis, as in this video, the only death this hornet will watch is its own. Look at how the mantis annihilates this normally formidable bug. This unfortunate hornet is undergoing a lobotomy, but it won't live to tell its friends about it. The second video shows what appears to be a hornet defeating a mantis, but it turns out to be another wrestling match with no clear winner. The fight between a hornet and a praying mantis is a little more evenly matched, and the hornet comes out on top, giving the mantis a taste of its own medicine. Another mantis is seen devouring the hornet, despite the hornet's desperate attempts to sting the mantis. The hornet can only coil up in a ball and pray after the mantis decapitates it. Number 6. Snapping Turtle. Snapping turtles spend most of their time underwater, waiting for their next meal to pass by. They're not aggressive animals, but they, like any other wild animal, will defend themselves if attacked. It's likely a turtle could bite someone's finger off. Alligator snappers, which may grow to reach over 30 pounds, can bite and leave a permanent scar on a person, but they are small compared to typical snapping turtles. The next video shows a snapping turtle barely holding on to this duck's foot, but the turtle is determined to make the kill, even though it isn't as simple as it appears. The duck is urgently attempting to free itself from the turtle's grasp so it can depart from the water and flee for its life on land. But the turtle is holding on, and I doubt the duck will survive. If it manages to free itself, it is much faster on land than the turtle. Number 5. Wild dogs versus kudu. The kudu is a huge antelope that resembles a reindeer, and wild dogs enjoy eating it. The kudu in this video isn't so lucky, and it's being hunted through the woods by a band of dogs. The kudu is overwhelmed by the number of dogs it has to deal with, and things don't appear to be getting any better. The kudu is dragged to the ground against its will, and while it is still alive, the dogs feast on it. This lovely creature's time has come to an end. While a lone wild dog chases a solitary kudu into the water, hyenas call out in the distance, apparently knowing of the hunt and attempting to take the kill. The wild dog is kept at bay by the kudu staying in the water. These wild dogs chase this kudu through a swamp and eventually grab it. While the dogs are prepping their dinner, a nearby herd of elephants comes to see what is going on. The presence of the elephants scares the dogs, but it's too late for the kudu. Finally, while waiting for the rest of the pack to join her, a lone female wild dog demonstrates tremendous strength by taking down a juvenile kudu by itself and feasting on it. Number 4. Hammerhead shark versus stingray. A stingray lurking from behind the ocean floor is discovered by a hammerhead shark. The stingray, unsettled, makes a break for freedom. But is it too late? The stingray has no other option but to bolt from cover, so the shark chases it wherever it goes until it locks the prey and immobilizes it. And that's the end of the stingray. I'm not sure why aquarium administrators would put a stingray in the same aquarium as a hammerhead shark, unless it was intentional to feed the shark, which is exactly what is happening. It looks like the stingray always gets the short end of the stick when it is confronted to the hammerhead shark, just like in this footage. Number 3. Dingo Hunting. Dingoes are Australia's largest meat eaters, hunting a wide variety of animals. They primarily hunt at night. Dingoes may hunt alone or in packs, depending on the size of the prey. The dingo is a generalist predator that will scour the landscape for food and consume whatever it comes across. This pack of dingoes is on the hunt for some Asiatic water buffalo meat, and they target a smaller calf at first, but the hunt becomes complicated when the buffalo group together. The adults are very big, and it doesn't look like the dingoes are able to isolate one of the animals. In this video, a wallaroo stands its ground against a dingo. The dingo tries to intimidate the marsupial, but it doesn't work. This aerial footage shows a dingo chasing a mother feral pig and her piglets. The mother isn't looking back, and the piglet is much slower. So I'm guessing the dingo will eventually catch up to the little guy, and after going in circles for a few seconds, that's exactly what happens. What surprises me immensely is the mother abandoning her piglet to save her own life. I was sure she would have returned to at least defend her offspring, but I guess I was wrong. Dingoes do not discriminate, and you can see in this footage, they will hunt porcupines, lizards, and even kangaroos. Whatever their stomach fancies, they will eat. Number 2. Stoat versus rabbits. Although it will consume birds' eggs, the stoat is mostly a carnivore that feeds on small animals such as rabbits, hares, mice, voles, and shrews, as well as whatever else is available in its habitat. Birds are also eaten, and when other prey is scarce, earthworms, huge insects, and carrion are consumed. This stoat has made a kill, but now its problem is how to get that bunny through the fence. Watch how hard it works trying to accomplish this feat, and with a little more effort, it finally does. In this clip, another stoat destroys a much larger rabbit. It's as if the bunny has no means of defending itself against the stoat. Watch this stoat chase a rabbit many times its size, and as the rabbit becomes exhausted, the stoat attacks the back of the rabbit's neck with a strong bite. And it's the end of the road for the fluffy bunny. In this video, when a stoat is unable to catch a rabbit, it does dance motions. The stoat's prey is hypnotized by all the darting and writhing until the stoat can deliver the deadly strike. This little rabbit taunts a stoat, and it almost looks as if the rabbit is the instigator. But that doesn't last long when the stoat realizes the rabbit is the prey. Finally, a stoat chases a huge bunny rabbit, and I honestly don't understand how come the rabbit is so vulnerable when you consider the size of the animals involved. The stoat grabs onto the rabbit's neck, and eventually brings it down to finish it off. Number 1. Wild dogs versus water buck. A pack of wild dogs come across a mother and a calf water buck after seeing a large herd of Impala that went missing. The small water buck escaped a large pod of hippos after being chased into the water by the dogs. The wild dogs eventually gave up after a few hours, and the mother and calf water buck were able to go unhurt. In this video, this water buck is being torn to pieces while it's still alive by this pack of wild dogs. I tell you, wild dogs are the animals that empathize the least with their victims. Next, a pack of wild dogs in Kruger National Park cornered and surrounded a young calf and her mother. The wild dogs were after the baby calf since it was an easy kill, but happily for the calf, the mother was tough and held her ground. Finally, these wild dogs finish off what seems to be another water buck. Unfortunately, it's not a pleasant sight to see, but it's the law of the land. I must admit, some of these hunts leave me somewhat perplexed. My favorite has to be the leopards arguing about the tree branch. Which one was your favorite? Why don't you let us know in the comments below? Well, that's it for our countdown of 15 wild animals hunting mercilessly. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now.